everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video, wherever you are, whatever you may be doing. Thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate it. If you jump on here live here on this Tuesday evening, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social platforms. I want to start out by congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines basketball team. It's their first national championship in basketball since 1989. A lot of people think about Michigan and the Fab Five, and those guys are good, but those guys didn't win a championship. It was 89, and if I'm not mistaken, Steve Fisher actually took over as the interim coach about midway through that season and then led them to the national championship. Now, earlier this season, Michigan had a player that made the comment that he thought this Michigan team was the greatest team ever assembled, and people took offense to it because they're trying to compare, all the previous great college basketball teams. But the problem is he used the word assembled, and that's pretty much what teams are nowadays. So you can't compare teams from 10, 15 years ago because now, because of the whole NIL transfer portal thing, teams get assembled because, you're not going out and recruiting these players. Not one single player on this Michigan team started their career at Michigan. All their guys are transfer players. So this team was assembled. So the reality is his comment was spot on. But, a lot of people talk about, is it difficult playing a basketball game inside a football stadium? And I think that game was proof that it is, because Michigan had scored like 90 plus points in, I think, every tournament game and looked unbeatable. I mean, they put up 90 plus against Arizona, who was phenomenal on defense. And the reality was they probably could have scored 100 if they wanted to. But last night, Michigan could make a shot. Michigan made 2 threes. And typically when you're that bad from the outside, especially in a national title game, you're going to get beat. But UConn didn't shoot much better. So congratulations to the Michigan basketball team. Now I want to talk some wrestling. I did a video probably, early to mid-March talking about WrestleMania, and we pretty much had the 4 main matches that we knew were going to happen, but we didn't know about the rest of the card. Well, now the card has been finalized, and as of this morning, now we know what matches are going to be on what night. I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. First, I want to remind everyone that I've got 2 wrestling shows this weekend, and I'd love to see some of you or all of you at shows if you live in Northeast Georgia, or the upstate of South Carolina. Saturday, I'll be at 244 Livestock Road, Easton Nolly, Georgia, for SWA Wrestling. You're going to see Jay Taylor take on Cody McCulley. And we're going to see Seth Stevens and Big Bad Brando against 2 members of the Best Friends Club. Now, don't know which 2 members that'll be. They've got 5 members in the group, and 2 of them are going to wrestle, and the other 3 are going to be handcuffed to the ring post. So we'll find out Saturday night which 2 are going to wrestle and which 3 are going to be handcuffed to the ring post. But in addition to those 2 matches, we're also going to have Tower in the house. We'll have the other 3 members of the Best Friends Club that don't wrestle against Seth and Big Bad Brando. Are they also going to have a match? Find out Saturday night. Tyler Blaze will be in the house. Jimmy Lee and Jack Salem, of course, will be in the house. We'll have Drox. We'll also have Terrain. Now, normally Terrain has a tag team partner named Crystal Rose. Crystal will not be there Saturday. She suffered some injuries at the last show at the hands of Jimmy Lee and Jack Salem, so she will not be there. But Terrain will be there, and of course Billy Starr and Rock Rowland will be there. All that's coming up Saturday night, 244 Livestock Road, Easton Nolly, Georgia, 6 o'clock. Doors open, 7 o'clock bail time, and then Sunday afternoon at 4:30, we've got Scrappy Championship Wrestling. Now, Scrappy has announced 4 matches, so we'll talk about those 4 matches, but there'll be some matches that have not been announced. But we've got Luke Da Silva taking on Sal Rinauro. Now, Sal Rinauro has appeared on WWE. He's appeared on NWA numerous times. He's traveled the world and been wrestling a long time. That'll be a phenomenal match. And then for the Scrappy Championship Wrestling lightweight title, we have a triple threat match. Seth Stevens versus DJ Smoke versus Michael Walker. For the Scrappy Championship Wrestling middleweight title, we have Hunter James versus Nick Halen. And for the Scrappy Championship Wrestling heavyweight title, we have Jacob Ashworth versus Tower. All that's coming up Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock. Doors open, 4:30 bail time for Scrappy Championship Wrestling Fight Club, and that'll be at 305 Cherry Street in Royston, Georgia. So Easton Nolly, Georgia, Saturday night. Royston, Georgia, Sunday afternoon. And then as far as WrestleMania goes, now that we have determined what matches are going to be on what night, we can talk about them. Going to have 7 on night 1 and 6 on night 2. If I'm not mistaken, last year there was 6 matches on both nights. If I remember correctly, that means there's one more match on this year's card as opposed to last year's card. But night 1 on that Saturday night, April 18th, we're going to have The Vision and I Show Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre. Stephanie Vaquer versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. The Irresistible Force versus Charlotte and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria versus the Bella Twins in a fatal 4-way for the Women's World Tag Team Championships. Seth Rollins versus Gunther. And then we have Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, Seth Rollins versus Gunther was a last-minute thing. Originally, it was going to be Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker and Gunther versus Rey Mysterio Jr. And then Braun Breaker got hurt, and then Rey Mysterio got hurt. So they put together Seth versus Gunther so that you don't have those 2 big-time stars not on the card. But Rey Mysterio made it back in time, so we'll find out whether or not Braun Breaker makes it back in time. But Rey Mysterio was cleared to wrestle after they determined that Seth was going to wrestle Gunther, so Rey Mysterio is going to appear on night 2. But those 7 matches I just named are night 1, and of course Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton will be the night 1 main event. But on night 2, we've got Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. This will probably be the shortest match on the card either night. This match probably won't go 10 minutes. It might go a little bit longer than a couple of years ago when Brock wrestled Omos. That match went 5 minutes maybe. This match might go a little longer than that, but I don't think it'll be more than 10 minutes. And now here's the match Rey Mysterio was added to just yesterday. It is a 6-pack ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship. We have Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's Championship. Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the United States Championship. Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. And the main event for night 2 is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. The first thing that caught my attention on this was the fact that there's 4 women's matches. So I thought they would have 2 on night 1 and 2 on night 2, but they have 3 on night 1, and the only one on night 2 is Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. But you have AJ and Becky Lynch on night 1, Stephanie and Liv Morgan on night 1, and the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's World Tag Team Championships on night 1. So I figured there'd be 2 on both nights. So why they kind of made night 1 women heavy, I don't know, but that's the direction that they're going. So since there's only 6 matches on night 2, outside of Oba and Brock, I expect night 2's matches to be a little bit longer, because, you don't want to go too long, but you want to go long enough. You can't have WrestleMania and have, 10-minute matches. And typically, WrestleMania, most matches are 25, 30 minutes, and the main events are usually, 45, 50 minutes. And I expect nothing different this year, except for the Oba and Brock match. But I do think that since night 1 has one more match, the matches will be a little bit shorter, and on night 2, the matches will be a little bit longer, especially the ladder match. It's got to go at least 30 minutes. And then, of course, Roman Reigns matches always go 40, 45 minutes. But any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. Let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Someone told me to sing any line from the Elton John song, "Don't Go Breaking My Heart." I couldn't if I tried. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Ref Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of 3. Tell your friends and family